Mermaid Nina here. Welcome back to my channel. So, thought we would do something exciting. I hope you guys love this, but I'm starting a new series tonight. It'll run every Sunday until we get through the whole thing. So while I am still helping you guys plan your Disney vacations, I thought I would take each park and kind of dissect them land by land or area by area so that you guys kind of know what's going on within the park in each area. So I know you've seen my videos, oh, that's a cool ride, that's a cool thing. But does it really help you understand what's going on in the park as a whole? So I'm actually gonna dissect these things, including the rides, the shopping, the dining, the food kiosks, everything that is kind of in those areas that you will see and perhaps want to explore while you're in the park. We're gonna kind of go through them and dissect them, and I'm gonna let you know kind of the tips and tricks regarding each area, you know, my favorites and things like that. So to start it off, I thought we would start with my favorite park. I know it is most people's favorite park. In general, when people can only go to Disney for one day, this is the park they will decide to go to. So what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about Magic Kingdom right here. This is the current map over at Magic Kingdom right now. So we're literally just gonna take this just like you would if you were in the park. As you're walking through each land, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna see, what's on the left, what's on the right, what you need to do, what you shouldn't do, what the height requirements are. I'm gonna go through if things are family friendly or perhaps you should skip it. We're gonna go through this, like I said, step by step. So the first thing we are gonna explore is my favorite area of Magic Kingdom, and that is Adventureland. So I love Adventureland for many reasons. I love the rides that are inside Adventureland, but especially what I love about it is there isn't anything in Adventureland that is not family friendly. All the things that are in there are great for all ages. So it's a nice way to kind of start the trip and end the trip. I don't have to worry about any coasters or anything like that. It's very much kind of peaceful. Plus, let's see, 3 of the 4 rides are iconic rides. They are Walt Disney classic rides. All those rides are also at Disneyland. So it's kind of a way to kind of feel that original Disneyland Magic Kingdom experience with a handful of rides that are in this exact area. So we're gonna take this step by step. So let's just say you entered the park. Where is Adventureland? Well, you're gonna walk straight down Main Street. Now, Main Street will be in its own video, but I thought for right now, let's start with some rides. So you're gonna walk straight down Main Street, and when you hit the castle, you're gonna turn left. It's very easy to know that you are in Adventureland because there is a giant sign that says Adventureland. By the way, I'm mixing in some video and images so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So as you're walking towards Adventureland, the first thing you're gonna see, it's practically underneath the sign, is a food snack cart called the Spring Roll Snack Cart. And I know you're thinking, spring rolls? What are spring rolls doing at Magic Kingdom and why are they in Adventureland? I do not know. I do not know why there is a spring roll cart. I do not know why it's in Adventureland, but I will tell you this cart is popular. So oftentimes you will go and you will see a long line, or there is the chance, oops, we're out of spring rolls right now, but it is known for the cheeseburger spring roll, basically a cheeseburger with the pickles and all this stuff kind of put into a spring roll. Now, I have not personally eaten off this cart because I am vegan and there is nothing on the cart that I can eat. However, it is all over the interwebs. I absolutely know that the spring roll cart is popular. People find it outrageously delicious. My clients are talking about it all the time, and I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, they came up with a new spring roll. So they also have a pizza spring roll as well. So what I need to tell you about this cart is, first, it is very popular, so you want to get in line quickly. Second thing about this cart is it appears to be seasonal. No one really knows what's going on with this cart. Sometimes it is closed. Sometimes it's not open. Sometimes the cart isn't even there. Not quite sure. According to the map, it does say that the spring roll cart is available Friday through Sunday. So just something to note. If you're really interested in the spring cheeseburger spring roll, make sure you check your map, the most recent map of your trip, because hopefully it'll tell you what's going on. So that's, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, meaning it's only open 3 days out of the week. Like I said, it is directly under the Adventureland sign as you turn left off of the main hub, off of Main Street. So yeah, if you want to get the iconic, kind of famous cheeseburger spring roll, that is where you go. Now once you pass through the sign, directly behind the cart is the Sunshine Tree Terrace. Now, this used to be the original and only place to get a Dole Whip, but they've kind of dissected it. And so now this location is where you get the orange Dole Whip, the kind of iconic orange bird, orange Dole Whip, the orange creamsicle Dole Whip, the citrus swirl Dole Whip, which is basically orange and vanilla mixed together. This place is, you can mobile order all these delicious concoctions, but it's basically behind the cheeseburger spring roll cart, and it has its own little stand. It only has a little window or maybe two windows. It's usually got quite the line, and like I said, you can mobile order it. I will note, if you have food allergies, that the vanilla Dole Whip does contain dairy. So I'm pretty sure you can have just the orange or just the strawberry Dole Whip, but you cannot have the vanilla. So for people like me, I've never had the orange cream kind of mix. I've never had the citrus swirl. I've never had the orange float. So just something to note. You can always go up to the window and ask the person to see the allergy binder, but that is what it is. So anyway, like I said, if you want that iconic orange bird, orange Dole Whip, that is where you go. Yummy, yummy is all I can say about that. Now, directly across from that counter service type area is a few little carts for the kiddies for you to get some souvenirs. Now, I will tell you that this cart is very popular for the bubble wands, which I have mentioned in previous videos. There is no kid on the planet who will not pass the cast members with all the bubble wands and not want one. So heads up on that. So let's just keep going. We're going to keep walking down towards Adventureland, and the next thing you're going to see to the right is Jungle Navigation and Co., but I like to call it Skipper Canteen. It is a table service restaurant. It is newish. It is designed after Jungle Cruise, which we will get to. So basically the skippers from the Jungle Cruise have kind of opened up their own restaurant over there called Skipper Canteen, and they have some kind of wild, weird concoction type items on their menu. So make sure you check out their menu. But in general, it is kind of your everyday menu. They do have kids chicken tenders, they do have mac and cheese, they do have fish and steak and all those things. They're just kind of created in a different sort of way, maybe a few new flavors you're not used to. So make sure you check that out. But I will say that this has been one of the best meals my family has ever had on property, bar none. No joke. Skipper Canteen has been amazing for my family. We have eaten there, I don't know, 8 times. We love it there. Like I said, it is a table service restaurant, so you do need to get advanced reservations. They do have a kids meal, and the inside is pretty cool. It does kind of look like you're going through someone's house per se, like maybe showing all their collections from all their safaris and jungle cruises that they have taken. If I remember correctly, there is some sort of interactive bookshelf as well in there. Make sure you ask your waiter about that. But my particular favorite item on the menu is the crew stew, which they do veganize. It includes tofu, which you can get without tofu, and cauliflower and potatoes and curry, and it's just yumminess in a bowl. I also love their falafels and their hummus. But yeah, make sure you check out Jungle Canteen if you're looking for a really good meal, but also something kind of different, not your typical, standard Americana type food. That is a great place to check out. So kind of directly across from Skipper Canteen is the Swiss family treehouse. Now I have shown this treehouse in several of my videos. It is designed and created after the movie Swiss Family Robinson, which is now on Disney Plus. I grew up with Swiss Family Robinson. It has always been my favorite movie. My two favorite movies are Gone with the Wind. My second favorite movie is Swiss Family Robinson. I know I'm a weirdo. Why do I like such old movies? But that is how Nina rolls. So anyway, Swiss Family Robinson has always been kind of a classic movie in my heart. So we love going up the tree house. Now, something to note about this tree house is it is a great way to burn some energy. So if you have some kiddos that just need to kind of cool it down a little bit, you need them to go off and explore and burn some energy, going up and down this tree house is a great way to do that. I will let you know that it is a lot of stairs. So if you have sort of, you know, some leg issues, some back issues, some walking, climbing, stair action issues, you might want to skip this attraction, or, you know, it's totally safe. Just send the kids up and wait for them at the exit. But it's a very cool looking tree house, like I said, modeled after the movie. Now, it recently got a little bit of a makeover. I have done it since the makeover. I can't really tell what's been added, except I think they kind of put more ropes and things throughout the treehouse, maybe to make it safer. I'm not really sure. But either way, it's a great thing to kind of explore. I especially love to send the kids on the treehouse if we are in a really long line. So if we're riding the Jungle Cruise and the line is super duper long, I often will send the kids up on the treehouse, and then they kind of meet me in line later down, you know, down the queue area. So just something to note that don't skip out on Swiss Family Treehouse just because you didn't notice it was there or you didn't know what it was. It's basically a treehouse with lots of stairs that helps those kiddos burn some energy. So that is on the left side as you're walking. If you keep going, you're gonna run right into the Jungle Cruise. Whoop, whoop. Okay, this is one of the iconic rides. You can find Jungle Cruise also at Disneyland. It is a very easygoing ride. It is fun for all ages. Essentially, you get in a boat and it takes you around an exotic river. It's very simple, very easygoing. No hills, no dips, no turns, nothing crazy. It's like I said, it's one of the original rides. There are some hijinks that kind of ensue along the ride, a lot of animatronic animals and such, but it is 100% family friendly and make sure you give it a try. Now, I will say that if you are in a wheelchair, this is a great ride for you because they do have accessible boats where you can just kind of get on the boat. You don't have to transfer or change into a different type of wheelchair. So this ride is undergoing a makeover, which is kind of cool because the makeover appears to be happening while the ride is still happening. So it doesn't appear that they are shutting down the ride to do the makeover. It appears that they are kind of doing it overnight and removing a few pieces, hopefully adding a few pieces back. So make sure you look out for that. So right now there are two very iconic images that are no longer in the ride right now because they are replacing them. And usually the queue line, there's a bunch of stuff all over the walls. Those have recently been removed. But again, this ride is getting updated to be a slightly more modern and more with, you know, the times and the beliefs that we have right now. So make sure you check that out. Now, this ride is iconic for a very funny reason, and that is the skippers on this ride, this attraction, are what make the ride. So if you are lucky enough to get a really good skipper that can really deliver those classic, iconic kind of dad jokes, then you are in for a treat. The skippers have a long script of jokes that they kind of just dish out over and over again, and when done properly, they are pretty comical. So I don't want to give any of that away, but make sure you guys check that out. And if you want to know Nina's favorite part of this ride, my favorite areas are the elephant watering hole. Make sure you look out for Bertha. Bertha is the elephant who has been bathing for years and years and years without her trunks on. She's the one in the back. under the waterfall. That is Bertha. My other favorite area of this attraction is Schweitzer's Falls, also known as the 8th wonder of the world, when you get to finally see the back side of water. It's very cheesy, but Nina loves it, so you gotta go with it. But make sure, yes, you check out Jungle Cruise, and if you are headed to the parks for the holidays, you will be in for a real treat because Jungle Cruise turns into Jingle Cruise. That is when basically Christmas has taken over the safari and there's Christmas presents in the water. They do switch up the jokes a little bit, so it kind of just makes for a fun treat. Now, I don't know if Jingle Cruise will continue after the makeover, and I don't know how Jingle Cruise will change, but traditionally there is Jungle Cruise normally, and then over the holiday season, you will hit Jingle Cruise. So yes, I'm a huge fan of Jungle Cruise. Make sure you check that out. Now, directly across from Jungle Cruise is the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. Now, this is a great ride for the kiddies and families alike. It is essentially a Dumbo ride. You go on your own flying magic carpet. The magic carpets have like a little controller on them, which kids love to play with. The magic carpets can go up and down, and they can also kind of rock. So you really can do some fun things within your magic carpet. Now, the one thing I love about the magic carpet is the line never seems to be really long. So if you have a little kiddo, especially a little young toddler kiddo, and you're kind of, want to test out the waters a little bit on an attraction, on a ride for them, the adventures of the Magic Carpets of Aladdin are the great way to do that, because they can kind of finally be in a vehicle and kind of give it some control, which is a great way to start them out, especially if they're a little bit nervous. But we go on this ride quite often. My son, who grew up Disney, he's been going to Disney since basically utero. I was pregnant with him going to Disney. And it wasn't until he was about 3 or 4 when he could sort of talk and give his opinion, he all of a sudden got really afraid of rides. Even though he had been on all the rides before, we did go on this trip. Oh my gosh, I remember this trip so vividly. It was not the most magical trip. He just out of the blue decided he was afraid. He was afraid of rides. He was afraid of noises. He was afraid of everything. We couldn't figure out what was going on. And out of the blue, he just wanted to go on the flying carpets. And I'm like, whatever. I think we rode that ride about 6 times in a row, just over and over and over again. But he was so happy and content, I didn't even care. And that was what kind of jump-started him being willing and open to try things like Jungle Cruise and whatnot, to become the kid he is now, who loves Seven Dwarf Mine Train. He loves Splash Mountain. He loves the teacups. So he's definitely gotten his adventure spirit back. But there was a year that was pretty rocky. So if you have one of those timid, shy little kiddos, make sure you check out the Aladdin carpets. So directly across from Aladdin carpets, if you kind of go straight, so if you're walking down the path, it's on the right side. So magic carpets are on the right side. Jungle Cruise is on the left. If you keep going, again on the right side is the Enchanted Tiki Room. Oh my goodness, you cannot miss the Enchanted Tiki Room. This was basically designed and created by Walt himself. He really wanted a ride with singing birds. Of course, it was supposed to be more like a dinner theater when it was first designed and created. But one thing Walt really needed this ride to have is he wanted those birds to feel real. He wanted movement and action. He didn't just want like a sculpted bird kind of just singing. He really wanted some motion and some action. And it gave the Imagineers quite some difficulty. And it took them several years to kind of figure out how to make these birds look like they're really breathing and, feathers are flying and the whole thing. And it was really important to Walt that those birds really, look like real birds and have that kind of life built into them. And it wasn't until years later that an Imagineer was in a meeting with other, Disney people, and this guy had on a cashmere sweater. And when the guy was talking and delivering his presentation, the sweater kind of moved, because it was cashmere. And so apparently the Imagineer stood up, just left the meeting, went over to Walt and basically said, Walt, I have the answer. The answer is cashmere. And it turned into the birdies we see today. But anyway, Enchanted Tiki Room is a great attraction. It is great for all ages. We especially love it when it's raining, when we need a break. Maybe it's so hot and we kind of need to take a break. And we love it when we need that splash of air conditioning. But it's about a 10-minute show, and you kind of sit in a theater and you just watch these birds sing and you know, interact with flowers and tikis, and then all of a sudden there's like a thunderstorm, and it's a great experience, and especially true to my heart because it is one of the original attractions also at Disneyland, and it was really important to Walt that this happened. So it gives me a little bit of tears thinking about it. But yeah, make sure you guys give the Enchanted Tiki Room a try. There is kind of an interactive queue when you go in. So before you can go into the theater, you will see some birdies talking and kind of giving you an idea of what the show is going to be about. You'll see some interactive animatronic tikis. There might be a little bit of fire, some waterfall. That queue has been redone a few times. But yeah, that's what it is. I do notice there's not usually a long line for Tiki Room, so I wonder if people skip over it because it's not one of the main attractions like a coaster. So I'm letting you guys know that go ahead and give the Enchanted Tiki Room a try. Now, to the right side of the Enchanted Tiki Room, you are not going to want to miss this because this is Aloha Aisle, betterwise known as where you get a Dole Whip. So if you're not totally new to Disney, you should have heard of what a Dole Whip is. I'm telling you right now, this is where you get the original pineapple Dole Whip. Dole Whip is like a creamy, soft serve, pineapple-y, refreshing goodness that you eat. I don't know how else to describe it. It's essentially ice cream that's pineapple flavored, but the great thing about it is dairy free. It is 100% vegan. So if you have dairy allergies like I do, you can have a pineapple Dole Whip. Just beware of the vanilla. So you just got to have the straight up pineapple. But yes, this is the classic pineapple Dole Whip, which of course you can get into many different forms. You can mix it with vanilla. You can get it into a float. This is also where you would get the Kokomora float, which was of course inspired by Moana. This counter service area, it's not quite a restaurant. You can order through mobile ordering. I will note that there isn't really seating out there, so you do kind of end up taking your Dole Whip around to a place where you can sit, or there are a few benches, but they're usually filled with people. I usually take my Dole Whip and we'll go to a relaxation station, which we will get to in a second, and then eat my Dole Whip if there isn't any benches. I will note that if it's super hot out, those Dole Whips will melt quickly. So make sure you eat your Dole Whip pretty quick and you will get one of those freezer headaches. So oftentimes we'll split a Dole Whip or we'll get two between the four of us. They are filled with sugar and all sorts of goodness, so make sure you don't eat too many. But yeah, you cannot miss a Dole Whip. Now we're gonna keep on going. So if you go back to where we started, kind of on that path of the map, and you've got the Tiki Room on the right side, directly to the left is part of Jungle Cruise, but there's a little cart kiosk area right there where they sell popcorn. Now, in addition to popcorn, they sell one of my favorite items at the park, and that is candied almonds. The candied almonds are dairy-free and vegan as well, and they are so scrumptious. So as long as you don't have a nut allergy, which I'm not allergic to almonds, so I can 100% eat them. They are fabulous. I usually buy 2 or 3 packages at a time. I store them in the park bag, and I kind of eat them over the next few days. I keep Ziploc baggies. I will zip up, the pouch and kind of keep going. It's a nice, quick way to get some protein when you need it and gives you a nice, healthy snack. So yeah, the candied almonds are one of Nina's favorites. Now, if you keep going down that walkway, you are going to run into the Pirates of the Caribbean, which is the last ride over here at Adventureland. Pirates of the Caribbean is another one of those iconic rides that is also at Disneyland. Now, I want to note this. Pirates of the Caribbean is fun for all ages. It is family friendly. It can be a little scary. So if you have one of those timid, shy little kiddos, maybe don't start off with this ride. Now, of course, I'm not afraid of this ride, but just a little heads up. It does have a small little drop. I wouldn't call it crazy by any means. You may be dropping like one level. It's pretty smooth. It's pretty quick. Nothing to really fret over, but there is a small drop, and it is considered a dark ride. So when Disney calls things a dark ride, that basically means it's indoors and it can kind of get dark. I don't mean dark as in horror, as in scary. I mean, when you go from different scenes, it can kind of get dark for a minute, and then they just have lights over the animatronic figures. But anyway, Pirates of the Caribbean is what you think. It is exploring pirates in the Caribbean. So this ride has had a few makeovers over the years, and if you've heard me talk about this before, you will know that Nina is not a fan. I am not a fan of the makeovers. So Disney, if you're listening, bring back the original pirates. I am not a huge fan that they kind of made over parts of the ride to be like the movie. So basically, Jack Sparrow is hidden throughout the ride along with some of the other characters from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And then most recently, they did remove one of my favorite iconic characters of the theme parks, and that is the redhead. They made the ride a little bit more PC, a little bit more modern, and they turned the redhead into a pirate, and now she sells rum and chickens as opposed to what she used to be part of before. So in the ride, you will sometimes hear me say, "We wants the redhead," which is the original dialogue from the original ride. But anyway, Pirates of the Caribbean is a fun, like I said, family-friendly ride. It's a simple boat ride. Like I said, you do have that small little drop, but other than that, you're just in a boat and it just kind of follows you through some scenery with some pirates, and they're doing some shenanigans, and there's some fire and some great things. And of course, you will hear the iconic Pirates of the Caribbean song, and it just, yeah, it's one of our favorites. We will ride Pirates a good 3 or 4 times in a trip because that's how much we love it. So, and it is wheelchair friendly, although you do have to transfer. It is accessible for you. I will note that even though I rode this ride with a baby several times, my doctor did not want me to ride this ride while I was pregnant. So if you are pregnant, just make sure you talk to your doctor about what you can and cannot ride. I probably could not ride this because of the small hill, and I was considered high risk, so that's why she didn't want me riding this particular attraction. So anyway, I hope this helped you guys out. So the next thing you hit, if you keep going down the path, will be Frontierland, which will be next Sunday's video. So let me know how you guys like these videos, if you find them helpful. Let me know what other things to include that will make them even more helpful for you. And like I said, between the dialogue and the video, hopefully you're getting a better understanding of the park itself, going through it section by section. Like I said, Adventureland is our favorite. We will hit that area of the park several times in a trip. Yeah, it just kind of brings on all those good fun feels. Being someone who grew up at Disneyland hundreds and hundreds of times, to ride those iconic classic rides really pull on the heartstrings for me especially. So I wanted to give that to the next generation, which is my children. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications, like this video, and like I said, comment. Do you like this new series? What else can I add in these videos in terms of information to be more helpful to you guys? Please let me know, and make sure you check out for next Sunday, which will be Frontierland. And like I said, we're just gonna keep going around the map until we've done all of Magic Kingdom, and then we will start with the next theme park. So yeah, as always, guys, mahalo for watching. Nina out. Bye.